Alright, welcome to Old World Gaming. If you've been following along, you'll know that I have been painting up a Night Goblin army for Warhammer the Old World. And one of the things I've noticed about the new Old World Night Goblin rules is that for each regiment of Night Goblin troops, you have to take a Night Goblin character. And at the moment, I've only got my one Shaman, so I need 3 if I want to take these 3 units. Undoubtedly, I'm going to want more units because I definitely want more Spearmen. So I need to paint more characters. So for this video, I'm planning on making a start on this guy who is Grinkrak from Warhammer Underworld. So I saw this set, I don't know, about a year ago, and I saw that it came with a whole bunch of very cool looking Night Goblin models in. I was like, those will make awesome characters. I've already done this guy. He is the boss for this unit of Spearmen. I'm really pleased with how he came out. I like the way that his hood looks. Particularly pleased with his yellow armour. And I've not really spent any time painting yellow before, so it was a kind of a new experience. It took me, I had to do a bit of a patch up on the recessed areas because I made them too dark to start off with. I had to go back and make them a bit lighter, but it's come out really nice. So I'm very pleased with that. And we will have some yellow features on Grinkrak as well. So he's got like armor plating on his back. Let me put this down actually, so I can point and talk at the same time. My light is slowly dropping down. It's not quite what I want. Stay still. Okay, is it going to be? Yeah, there we go. All right. So we've got a brush. Yeah, so he has got like armor plates here on his back. He's got like one here, his feet as well. So yeah, so there. My intention is to do those yellow too. But for this episode, I'm planning on just doing the black. So he's going to be wearing a black cloak, essentially. But I want to give him a purple hood. Purple is the colour that I'm planning on going for. Now actually, Grinkrak's hood seems to extend a little bit further than I initially thought. So if you take the Shaman that I've already done so far, you can see that the way the hoods kind of work is they're like a cowl that comes down and kind of drapes over the shoulders as well on the front with the hood. So Grinkrak, you can see here on the back that his cowl kind of extends down here. So this is all part of his hood. So his sleeves are part of the rest of his cloak, but that's part of his hood. And then actually this kind of extends around the side and it drapes down here as well. So he's actually going to have like a whole bunch of him is going to be purple at the top, but his sleeves and the base area is going to be black. So yeah, there's not as much black on him as I thought there was going to be. Certainly not with the colour scheme I'm intending to paint him. Now black is a notoriously difficult colour to paint, and something I'm conscious of is that daylight bulbs tend to make black, when you're painting it, I don't know, it makes it look really bad. So just adding a little bit of white kind of gives it a really stark contrast, far more stark than it looks in real life. So that's something I need to kind of contend with, is the fact that I think it's gonna look really super high contrast and a bit janky when I first put it on under this bulb, but then when you see it in normal light, it'll look fine. At least that's the theory. So we'll have to see how we go. Right, let's get some light. I don't really want to knock my lamp any lower down because it's pretty low. Right, let's see. That's way too much white. Right, let's start with that kind of shade, I think. Question is, have I got enough? Look at this hard bits out underneath. Right, okay. That is not going to last. Right, I might have to put it in a slightly different place. Too close to on. Right, let's try and mix again. Oh, too much white. Way too much white. I wasn't really thinking what I was doing there. Right, let's get some, just a little bit of white, please. No, too much white. Look at this. Right, okay, so gonna just get some black and just increase the black. Okay. Right. I know what I'm doing, honest. Well, does any of us know what we're doing? Okay, let's add a bit of water to that, so it's not too thick. Okay, I think that should be okay. Yeah, I think we're all right there. Just going to wash my brush off because it is super soggy wet with that. So I only want the paint on the very tip of the brush. There we go. Right, so this might not even be dark enough, but it's probably better than too light, really. So let's have a look and see how we go. So I'm going to start, yeah, that actually looks quite nice. I'm going to start by doing the edges. It's hard to see, obviously, because I'm painting over black, but you can see because it's shiny, because of the liquid, because of the water. So that's very convenient for this video. So just doing the raised areas and the edges. So we'll follow that around. Do his, oh, that's too much on my brush. Do his sleeve. Yes. Yeah, this is good. Okay, so confession time. I had a go at painting this a minute ago, and I went too light. My first layer, and I'm not sure if it's this daylight bulb, or if it's, or if I legitimately was too light. But that's why this is all here, because I had another go a minute ago. Yeah, I was like, oh, do I try and correct it whilst recording, or do I just start again? And I decided to start again, rightly or wrongly, because I'm very conscious that the Fanatic episode I just did previously was quite long, much longer than I expected it to be. I underestimated how much time it was going to take to do those Fanatics. The older, like 5th edition era goblins were a bit more, I don't know, bigger and more kind of like intensive to try and paint. One of the things I love about the Skull Pass ones is their simplicity. So the newer goblins are much simpler to paint than the 5th edition ones. I say 5th edition. I'm not even sure if they were 5th edition. Actually, maybe no. They were probably 6th edition because Skull Pass was 7th edition. So I'm unfairly picking on 5th edition goblins. Although saying that, the multi-part Night Goblin, first multi-part Night Goblin set was 5th edition. So maybe it's not entirely unfair, because they kind of, I feel like they spawned that era of goblins. So yeah, 5th edition can take some blame. Right, okay, so that is, now that, I'm quite pleased to say, that is very hard, quite hard to see the contrast between the black and that grey, which is really what I'm going for, to be honest. So now we're going to do then next just make sure I haven't missed anything. Oh, did I do? No, I didn't do a sleeve, did I? Up here, so let's do that sleeve. Good job I checked, because that would annoy me later. Yeah. Get this done, around this side as well. These holes. Okay, good. That's good. I'm glad I checked that, and I did these sleeves in here, didn't I? These bits in there, yeah. They're just, it's just a nice shade. Right, okay. So now we'll add a bit more white into the mix. Again, don't want to go too high. I feel like I might have gone too high, but now I've got that first layer on, I can kind of get away with it a bit, because I'm going, now we're going to go quite close to the edge, so we're doing much more of a, and not quite the full edge highlight, but almost like right on the edge. Do this bit in here, around the hole, on here as well. Sleeves. Yeah, this shouldn't like really take all that long now, because the there's not a huge amount to do when you're doing the highlights. It's just, like I say, on the edges, and how's that looking? Can you see? Not particularly. That's all right. I don't mind that you can't really tell the difference yet. I mean, it is possible, but obviously with the light, I don't know if I've just got a really naff light, or if it's to be expected, because I'm painting black. Oh, that's looking pretty good. Yeah, I'm pleased with how that's coming out. Okay, so yeah, so this is just on the center of these highlighted bits. Now, I'm not an expert by any means, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, because if you're new to the hobby and learning to paint, then what I'm showing you should be achievable, particularly with my batch painting videos. They are kind of beginner friendly, I would say, particularly. This is slightly more advanced, because obviously I'm not dry brushing his clothing. But that, I don't know how well you can see it. That looks pretty good. Okay, as we add more highlights, I haven't done his sleeve again on the other side. Yeah, as we add another layer, I don't know if I'll do more than one more layer. Probably won't. Probably will just do a single layer. That was probably a bit too much on there. Never mind. It's all right. Yeah, whether I'll do more than one more layer or not is the question. I'm not sure I will. I think just one last layer, and then that will be, I'll call the black done. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. All right, let's see, how much paint have we got left on here? Do we have enough to do our last layer? Maybe. Okay, this is quite light. Is it too light? We'll find out. I don't know if I've got enough. I think I might. This is water that I've just got out of the pot. I don't know if it will last long enough for me to be able to paint with. No, maybe not. All right, let's get some new paint. This is a risk now, getting some new paint, because we're moving away from where we've just mixed it. Now, something I have seen is a wet palette. I don't really know anything about wet palette, except I imagine it stops this kind of scabbing going on, and keeps the paint kind of usable for longer. So maybe that's something I should investigate at some point. If anyone's got any experience with wet palettes, let me know. Or anywhere that I can get some good advice on it. But for now, this is how I've done it for a very long time. So I'm sure I'll survive. Right, how is that looking? That's darker than I had. This is a bit light. Well, this feels right. Okay, I spent too much time mixing it. It's going to try it again. Alright, so now this is just the very, don't know if you can see, just the very edges with this one. It's probably a little bit thick in terms of how much I've put on there. How's it look? Looking all right. Not as happy with it as I'd like, but it would have probably gone up slightly too quickly, maybe, in terms of colour shift from the previous colour to this one. But again, it could just be the daylight bulb kind of accentuating the difference. Right, just mainly following this rim round. Do a little bit up there. I don't know, maybe it's, we'll risk it. See that there? A little streak there. That looks quite nice. And follow this round. To his knee. And the paint is basically dry now. See if we can get a bit on the edge of his sleeve. Yeah, looks good. And the holes. There we go, and on the back. I think we just about made it with this paint before I ran out. Oops, fuck that last bit. Clearly got a little bit excited. I mean, maybe that's all right. Looks fine, I guess. Okay, cool. That's actually looking okay. It's not horrendous. It's not perfect, but it will probably just about do for now. Okay, yeah. Alright, didn't do his sleeve on there. I am kind of out of paint. I'm not sure. Alright, let's see if we can use this bit to do this in here. Oh, that's a bit bright. This is definitely winging it. It's being lazy. Oh no, I got it right in the recess there. I caught this part with the back of my brush, and it made me miss. There we go. Kind of cleaned that out. All right, fine. There we are. So that's the black. We'll have to see how it looks when it's all kind of finished. I think it will probably look all right. I'm actually going to do one last layer. Final edge highlight. Quite light white. Where was the last one? There. I don't want to make it too light, but I do want it quite light. It's quite a balance to try and get with the final layer. Okay, because the risk is just going way too high, but I think it'll be all right. Like if you're really good at painting black, you'll go all the way up to white right on the edges. Now I haven't gone up to white, but just because of the fact that we're painting black, it looks like I've gone to white, and I really haven't. This is, not actually all that close to a full white. Don't know if I've ever gone that high before. Oh, it looks really, really light, doesn't it? Oh well. We all experiment. We're always learning, trying new things, learning new things. That's one of the fun things about painting, is just trying stuff, seeing how it looks. If you don't like it, don't do it again. If you do like it, there you go, you learned something new. Yeah, well, there we go. This is an experiment for me, going up this high. It kind of looks all right. Okay. Yeah, kind of. It might look better in normal light. It looks a bit like I've gone too high. So yeah, we'll have to see. I thought we should do something on here. Something about this that just makes me screw it up. Alright, one can fill that bit in with a little bit of black. Okay, so I think that is it, mostly done. It'd be quite good to see what it looks like not under this daylight bulb. To see if it looks any good kind of under normal light. Yeah, that looks much better. Not under the like directly under the daylight bulb. I think it looks better. But yeah, kind of. We'll have to see how it looks with the rest when it's painted. That's probably a little bit light on his sleeve over there. But there we go. Other than that, it kind of looks alright. So, yeah, there we go. That's the... that, I think, is where we will end it. I'm not hugely pleased with how it's turned out, but I think it'll do. So, there we go. Thanks for watching.